Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Coach.
A lot of echo there.
There we go. There it's gone. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep. Don't know why that button. That's a push button and it resets every time I turn that on. Anyway, we're good. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent, live from the Atzenoffer studio in beautiful downtown Victoria. The offices of 205 are home. Home for you, too, if you're a business. They've got space. Come on, check them out.
By the way, it's very rare that there's any space available in this building because it's just that cool. It's an iconic location in a beautiful and restored, important Victoria building. Not just because we are here. It's cool to office next to Wade and Carter, but because the building itself is just a landmark. So one of the more attractive buildings in our city. It's downtown. John Paul Hall and Mr. Geets can help you move into this space and you can share office space with Wade and Carter. So the good news is we're gone at 8 o'clock. So if you just wait till, literally 8:10, you never have to see us if you don't want to see us.
Not at all.
So
that's why the mayor never rolls in till then.
No, the mayor, I'm not sure. The mayor works extremely hard on a number of levels. He is first and foremost an attorney. And his actual need to be in his office probably doesn't start at 8 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't get to rankle people until at least 9.
Exactly. He's got to have his coffee first.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by our great friends at AT Deerland Feed. You can get a hat. For everything you need, there's
Thomas More cattle cubes on sale. A buck off.
Still a buck off.
It's a good deal.
It's a rodeo price. 50 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Victoria, Texas. That was good, wasn't it?
It was good.
Try it again.
Thomas More cubes, a buck off.
There you go. Rodeo deal. Some of you didn't catch that. It's early in the morning. Give him a round of applause. That's all he's going to get today, folks. 50 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high of 65.
The cow's going to get a bag. He's going to get a buck off.
Don't you? Isn't there? It's a niche gift, talent, skill, but isn't the mic man at a rodeo just about the coolest person in the building?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love the guy in Houston. He's done it for years and years. And the gentleman that did it forever in Goliad has passed.
Yep.
But the guy that, when you go to the Goliad Rodeo, and this is just a shameless plug, we're $1 a holler group of hookers.
Coming up in March, by the way.
But they don't pay us to advertise for them. But there's just nothing like. I love going to that rodeo, and I always bump into our buddy Jared Birmingham, an old rodeo cowboy who can sing a little bit. He makes Chris Ledoux look like he's unemployed. But you go in, although Ledoux might have been a little bit of rodeo cowboy, but Birmingham's a lot better singer. But you go in and when they have the colors go around the arena and the pretty girl on the white horse and the flags waving, and that's a flag of freedom. He just does it so good. It's just so cool to watch. The rodeo mic man.
Stephanie Connie in, Scott Tomko, Ricky King on the podium. Ricky King up in Big Springs, Texas. That'll get us to kind of where, and Ricky's a truck driver, so he knows. Looking at video, HEB got sued by a family after one of their contracted truck drivers, according to what I read. Saw the video of this thing. Lots of issues with this one. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but they got rear-ended by an 18-wheeler up around Dalhart, Big Spring area, somewhere up there in November. They're suing HEB because that's where the money is. Let's be honest, the truck driver probably doesn't have any.
Sure, he's got very limited insurance, but you can skip insurance when you sue a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
4 people died.
Tragic. And they didn't do anything wrong.
Well, they kind of did. They were driving on the highway with a flat tire, and instead of pulling off the road and stopping, they kept going in the right in
30 miles an hour.
Yeah, flashers on. And I saw the this wasn't dash cam, rear-facing video from another truck that was in front of it. And this 18-wheeler just no stopping, no brakes, just plows into the back. And this is in broad daylight. No fog, no wind, no dust.
Yeah, I tell you what the problem is. So by
Truck
far,
driver wasn't paying attention. Obviously, that's what
Absolutely.
appears to me, and I can't help but think that's what happened with the Ibarra and Barrera families,
Yes.
and that
Carlos
died the
Lopez
other day.
family.
Part of the Lopez Broadcasting family. That this truck just plowed into stopped cars because he wasn't paying attention. The truck driver wasn't paying attention when
either
the
they're
road
not
was
paying
closed,
attention / texting, or driver fatigue.
or going too fast.
And by far the safest drivers on the road are the over-the-road long-haul truckers. The professional driver is light years ahead of you in basic fundamental driving skill. But when something goes wrong, it's kind of like a 737. When it falls out of the sky, people die. So flying in an airplane is safe until they decide to take it, all the way to the scene of the crash.
Cody Bauman checking
Ron
in.
White
Ron White
Got
reference.
no
That's
humor out
offense.
of you.
No. Overused joke by myself too. Maybe that's why.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was funny the 50th time I told it.
Greg Garcia, Mark Kurtz, Rena Scherer, Bobby Leister, Micah Patton, Lisa Poole, Marvin Mickish,
Yeah.
Pete Strauss. We're big in Louisville. 10 degrees in Louisville this morning.
Man, Pete Strauss likes Louisville. You know why? There's bourbon everywhere. And I think Lori's like, we're on vacation. Have another sip.
Linda Christ, Andrew Alvarez, working on the mics, Tammy Keeling, Junior Samples, Heather Stewart, Casey Kemp. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Casey Kemp.
Jennifer Rayburn,
Casey Lynn Kemp, by the way.
Tina Arterberry, Torrin Bales,
I see her at the most random places.
Scott Snow, John Paul Hall, Mark Cepeda, Sherry Jacobs, Monty Howard, Kathleen Leininger, Tammy Williams, Terry Murray.
Kathleen's helping us get back with Allison Fox. Allison Fox, young lady running for the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. And while Ash and I don't endorse candidates, we very much pay attention to them. I even intend to ask her again about, should Court of Appeals judges be elected? Does the public really merit a say in who the Court of Appeals judge is? And it's so quick and so easy to say, yes, well, of course they do. Let the people decide. Well, that's certainly not the case at the federal level.
No.
Those guys are all appointed and with much more political
Ramifications?
or aplomb. Is that the right word? I don't know. Just made that word up. Is Jennifer Rayburn in?
I think I saw her.
I'm certain she is. Jennifer Rayburn sent us a feel-good story on a Tuesday. Many of you don't complain, but you certainly notice that there's a lot of doom and gloom in the news. Unfortunately, the things that make news are often negative. But Jennifer Rayburn sent a note along about a kid named Elijah Foskey, Faske. Young man has a prosthetic eye, and he has I don't want to mispronounce it. It sounds like Cole Obama, but it's not. It's Columba. Anyway, Anyway, he has an eye problem that renders him legally blind. The disease, I want to get it right. Columba. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying.
You're
to
not
be
trying to be flippant. I know.
cantankerous. I'm trying to be very serious.
Trying to be very, very accurate.
Colobo.
Colobo?
How would you pronounce that word? They're right there.
Colobama.
Colobama. We just call it Barack for short. This kid has one eye that doesn't work at all, has a prosthesis in there. His other eye, this disease is like either you're missing a retina or you're missing layers of skin on your eye. It's a developmental in the womb problem for the child. And this kid earned a trip to the Texas junior high school rodeo finals. He is a breakaway roper. And this is a beautiful story because it sums up. It's like this is not like the LBGTQ, put a girl or put a guy in a skirt and call him a female athlete. All they did for this kid, his eye condition, again, legally blind, is he can't see because of the arena. You know, the lights are often LED or those nickel metal hydride over there, the bright lights, and the dust, it messes up his depth perception. So all they did is they put a special collar on his calf so that he can see the light that is the neck of the calf. And this kid successfully and in great time Elijah roped this calf and earned the trip. And the arena went nuts. I mean, obviously, everybody knew the kid's situation, and then he successfully roped the animal, and everybody went crazy for him. I just thought it was a feel-good story.
Where you or I could see the entire calf's neck, this kid can basically just see the light on the back of the calf.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive.
He literally, what I thought was interesting was he wasn't given any advantage. He was simply given access. And I respect that. Kathleen Liner, go back to the driver.
Isn't that the whole point?
Amen. That is equal opportunity. That is diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? That is DEI as we want it to be employed. Long-haul truckers are safe drivers until states dole out commercial licenses, to illegal invaders who can't even read or understand English. That is interesting. There was one of the states the other day was talking that 54%, Ash, of their granted commercial licenses had gone to people who could not pass a reading test of English.
Yeah. I talked to somebody not too long ago who deals with truck drivers on the daily. And in the last couple of years, the number of truck drivers who he deals with who can't speak a lick of English have to hold up their phones and use Google Translate to try to talk to him to transact business.
That's ridiculous.
He said it's ridiculous. And there's a bunch of them in the cab, and none of them can speak English.
On the Rodeo Kid, Jennifer Rayburn says the fact that he hit it on the first go-around, immediate trip to the championship, all from a flashing light. Phenomenal progress for inclusion. See, I agree. That's inclusion that makes sense to me. I agree with that.
He still has to rope it. Nobody roped it for him.
He didn't get a benefit because he grew up in a family that didn't have property. He didn't get a benefit because he grew up and he wasn't white. He got it because it made sense. Andrew Alvarez says, I love that story, and I can really relate. Andrew Alvarez, of course, has some ocular issues, but I know for a fact Andrew Alvarez can't rope it. He couldn't do soap on a rope. Don't let him kid you. He couldn't do soap on a rope. Tammy Williams says, we were averaging over one 18-wheeler a week, and I absolutely believe this is why. I just pray the prayer of protection over my loved ones who drive 59 daily. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Torn Bell says that inclusion and the truckers should be bipartisan concerns.
Oh, what else is happening in this world today?
What do you make of Trump? Is he really? Is that legit?
I think
is he being aggressively offensive to Denmark? And by the way, I'm sorry. I don't care about Denmark. Who cares?
Let me read his letter to Norway that he issued. And this apparently came from a text exchange that he had with the president of Norway.
Is there a president of Norway?
Yeah, maybe a prime minister. Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Norway's just the home of the Nobel Prize.
Yeah, they don't give
it. The foundation gives out the prize. Norway doesn't. I don't even know that the country of Norway has any influence over who hands out the Nobel Prize. Denmark cannot protect the land from Russia or China. And why do they have a, quote, right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also.
I'm kind of reminded of Christopher Columbus or the people on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Yeah, where were those papers?
Be careful, Donald.
I have done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland.
Now, that last statement may be correct, but I don't think you need complete and total control. You need a base there.
Yeah.
But then again...
But here's the other thing. NATO is, and yes, we've spent more money on NATO. But if you look at the history of NATO peacekeeping forces, a lot of times the U.S. didn't send anybody.
No, but a lot of times they didn't need a lot of Americans over there either. The one thing, Andrew Alvarez says, the one thing I can do is trip over a rope.
But I mean,
we do.
NATO's a promise in case Russia does something stupid.
This is beautiful. More than 200,000 Danish citizens have signed a petition to buy California as a response to Trump's attempt to take Greenland. They say they will provide Californians with rule of law, universal health care, fact-based politics, and a lifetime supply of Danish pastries. I would trade California.
No, there was a date on it, Stephanie, January 19th, 2026.
I'm not
and
buying
apparently
it. I don't think he wrote it.
It was on it was on the White House's.
It's also but I mean, I think
pen.
Trump literally may have been sending it out as a sarcastic, it's signed like you and I would write, Donald J. Trump, and then underneath it says 45th President of the United States. He's the 47th President of the United States. I mean, and 45th. JP giving me props for remembering Columbus' 3 ships.
But according to the New York Times,
luck and history and public school.
That letter is basically the text he sent to the president of Norway as they were exchanging texts on
And you never
Sunday.
know what the president of Norway had sent him prior or what was said after, right? I mean, I don't know.
I can read that text to you, according to the New York Times. Dear Mr. President, dear Donald, on the contact across the Atlantic on Greenland, Gaza, Ukraine, and your tariff announcement yesterday, you know our position on these issues, but we believe we should all work to take this down and de-escalate. So much is happening around us where we need to stand together. We are proposing a call with you later today with both of us or separately. Give us a hint as to what you prefer. And then he responded with basically what I just read you.
I don't disagree with Denmark's position, but if I've got a hugely liberal buddy in Colorado who's like, thinks this is just criminal that the U.S. is trying to quote unquote take over, Greenland. Here's the deal. Donald doesn't care that you find out later the why. He believes in his why. I can go back. He was right about China and COVID. He was right about Hunter's laptop. He was right about Biden and the pay-for-play Hunter selling paintings to give access to his dad. He was right about Hillary and the Steele dossier. He was right about the weaponization of the IRS and the FBI. These are just things off the top of my head. I don't have a cue card here
at all.
He's just been right too much. He was right to go get Nicolas Maduro. Everybody, the Biden administration had a $25 million bounty on the guy. Trump goes and gets him, and the left is like, oh, he was right about sealing the border. He was right that it didn't take new laws. It just took a new president. He's just been right, whether you like him or not. Don't care. He's been right so many times that I'm going to take a wait and see attitude on Greenland. what happens if we go? I'm just saying, what happens if we go over there and take Greenland, and all of a sudden, all the precious, essential minerals you need to make chips for computers here in the U.S., what if they're all there? What if you find out that under that ice are 80% of the world's uranium deposits? What if? I'm just saying, what if? They know something we don't know.
Well, and so what if they are? Denmark doesn't have a right to prosper from that?
I don't think that, I don't know. I think you're just thinking like a Canadian.
No, I'm just thinking that the letter was stupid. Let's be honest.
Now, I don't disagree with that. I think he's just tired of arguing with. It's like Putin in Ukraine.
But remember when all the oil in the world was only in the Middle East and the U.S. had very little of it? Canada had very little of it? I have a hard time believing that all these places, and it's not just a Donald Trump thing, all these countries are the only places in the world with these rare earth minerals. Because as we found out with oil, it's not so rare.
Yeah.
They thought salt was rare. Remember when salt was the currency of the world? Well, you may remember it because I'm not as old as you.
Well, we did a lot with pork back then. Deidre Johnston says, good morning. Kathleen Leininger asks, can we add Waltz in Minnesota to that corruption?
We're going to get into the garbage
100%.
going on in Minnesota as well.
100%.
I mean, when salt was the currency, it was the currency because they thought it was rare. I'm just saying, I don't think any of these rare earth minerals are as rare as they want us to believe they are, because we sure seem to be building a lot of batteries and other crap with them that you'd think if we're really running out of them or need to conserve them or need to stop using them, we would.
Like, nobody really ever explained what rare earth minerals are. They just tell you
just a term.
They're rare.
Like climate change.
They're minerals. Yeah, what happened to climate change? Where is the left protesting
wait till this weekend. Wait till this weekend when it supposedly gets cold around here.
We hope you guys had a great Martin Luther King Day yesterday. Did you see, you've got Tony Phil. Yeah, my funny jokes could be a currency because when I'm funny is a rarity. That would make it extremely valuable. Did you see, we have
the new gold.
Phil. We have Jewel the Democrat Buchanan. Did you see that she wandered out and schlepped along at the MLK walk downtown? There were maybe 100 folks down there. Hats off to them for braving the elements. Jewel wondered aloud, why are there so many black people here? Anyway, they went from one place to another. It always ends up at one of the churches down there. It's a wonderful event and a lot of really good folks, including Jewel. Hats off to Jewel for being there. Also a very Democrat leadership thing to do. Good for her.
I always notice too when people take part in these marches, what did they do before social media? Did they take part in them, or did they not take part in them, or did they just take part in them and not tell anybody? They just went and did it.
Andrew Alvarez says, I'll tell you what happened to climate change. Greta grew up. No doubt about it. Patrick Strauss says, it doesn't feel like global warming in Louisville. See, there's the misnomer.
Yeah.
When global warming didn't pan out, they just went to climate change. It's climate change.
Well, remember when they said the next ice age was coming?
Right.
There was no global warming. It wasn't called global cooling.
No, it was just ice age was just coming. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It happens. We go through cycles. This is what they used to teach you. The Earth has gone through cycles of warming up and cooling off, and we're heading to a period of cooling off.
Kathleen Leininger says he is right about the Obama citizenship issue. Main Street media just gaslights. I don't know. I do know that it is indisputable that Barry Obama.
There's more proof that Ted Cruz wasn't born in this country than there is that Obama wasn't born in this country.
But wasn't Ted Cruz born to American parents?
In Canada?
But were they American parents? Actual physical birth on the dirt doesn't matter. It's the citizenship that matters. He was born. Does he have dual citizenship? Is that where we're at with Ted Cruz?
He did. He renounced it, I think, when he was running for president.
Well, good for him.
But technically, he's a naturalized citizen at that point because his parents would have to naturalize him for him being born outside of the U.S.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if
because
Dawn and I are going on a trip to see your family in Calgary, and she's 8.5 months pregnant, and while we're there,
be flying at that
I don't
point.
disagree. Okay, so we drove. We took since it's our fantasy, we took what's her name, Allie Larder's Bentley GTC convertible, and we drove to see your family. Drove across the border. We were just going to go over and have lunch with Wally and Corky, and then we were going to come back. And Dawn drops a kid over there in Calgary, That kid may have Canadian citizenship, but it's indisputable that kid's an American citizen. It's got nothing to do with anything. The fact
But here's where it gets the sticky point with Ted Cruz. His dad was working there. They were living there. They weren't
he's
just there
still
on
an
vacation.
American. His dad was an American. It's an American kid. Being an American, if your parents are both Americans, you're an American. I mean, is anybody disagreeing with
No,
this?
you are an American, but I believe in that case you have to become a naturalized citizen.
I don't think
because
you
weren't born
What's he
here.
got to pass a test? He's in the manger, for goodness sake. The cattle are lowing. The baby awakes. Little baby Ted, no test he takes. Come on. So the deal with that was good, wasn't it? Every now and then. It's
pretty good.
Come on. All we need now is a segue.
Your currency is rising.
I better
turn this into non-fungible tokens and make a
Right?
killing on the internet.
HR Mallory says, no, you don't have to take a test. Thinking that's Super Trooper HR. What he says is law.
I'm not doubting that he's an American citizen.
But it's totally different than what Obama's situation was, where his dad, Barry's dad, was not an American. And Barry was born in I think, maybe Hawaii. I'm not positive.
His mom was American.
Was she? I think she was white. That doesn't make her an American. There's those circles, those concentric circles. You can be white, you can be American, and in the middle you can be a white American, but it doesn't make her American. But the whole thing is the kid was raised in Indonesia, educated in Muslim schools. The dude was he was Jewel Buchanan. He was a local organizer for
I'm
the
not doubting any of that, but does that make him any different than a church missionary traveling the world with their parents as they do work?
They're Americans if they're Americans.
There's parallels.
Well, as long as they're Americans. If they're French missionaries, they're not Americans. My whole point is there's enough smoke around Obama's past to make you wonder, but it is all somewhat moot because the guy's already done his 2 terms, screwed everything up, and left. Yeah, I don't get it. Still trying to run things. He's gotten very quiet, hasn't he? Around when all the smoke came out on little Timmy Walls.
Well, yeah. We can get to all that.
Those guys, if you still think, can you believe I was going to say he was that close to being vice president? He wasn't. Kamala never really competed. She now says she's taken the position of we ran out of time. We didn't have enough time or we would have won. That's ridiculousness. Folks, USA Concrete Coating is inviting you to change your garage floor. Put down your new Indiana University logo on your floor. So many of you now, you'll start seeing lots and lots of IU caps. Everybody gets on a winner's gravy train. USA Concrete Coatings can put that forever, like a tattoo in your garage. Call 578-HOME and let Charlie Garcia come out and talk to you about your concrete needs, whether you need it sanded, sealed, stained, painted, whatever you want done, leveled, cracks filled. Veracruz Restaurant on a pre-call Tuesday. Get in. Yeah, no kidding. Torn Bill says Barack also had 3 terms. He ran Biden's term.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Junior Samples ask a question. Why did Obama go to college on a foreign student enrollment if he was an American? I'm just throwing out the questions.
I don't know that he did.
That people ask. Junior, can you verify? Veracruz Restaurant inviting you in Folks, it's the little things, the things you take for granted. The chips are going to be warm. They're going to be crispy. You don't get those chewy chips that you get in other places that are cold. The hot sauce is made fresh daily. Some days it's hotter than others. It's refreshing. It is great. Get into Veracruz, the best queso, the creamiest guacamole. It's the best. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen has been very busy due to the over-the-road trucker in our county, in our community lately. Do pray for the families. Our own Lopez Broadcasting family. It hits close to home quick. Very quick. Magic 95.9 ownership is a grandfather to one of the families that lost loved ones. Allen's Wrecker Service responds quickly, responds safely. They are there for you. Went Services and Went Electrical for all your general needs. A new plug, new lights, new ballast. I've told you before, I had a ballast go out in an overhead light. Would have cost me several hundred to replace it. They came out, replaced the ballast. I was back in business that day. Tell us about the chopping block.
$13 ribeyes are back. Barbacoa Boudin is in stock. And if you go to Facebook, like their post, tag 3 friends in the comments, and then share the post, they will put you into a drawing for a $100 gift card this week. So there you go. Look at those ribeyes. I can't.
Oh no, they're
you, folks.
beautiful.
They're beautiful ribeyes for $13 a piece. They're about £1 each.
I like to go in there and so Wally's one of my guys, and Brian Small says, "Here we go with the ballast." How can you make electricity sexy? I don't know. I guess it depends on what implement you are.
I think you pronounce that differently. They had to replace my ballast.
By the way, if you come at a woman with something with a cord on it, I think she might be a little concerned.
Or wrap it around your neck.
There you
and pull
go.
tightly.
There you have it. I like to go into the chopping block and say, I need a couple of those $13 ribeyes and let them pick. And I sort of, why did you pick that steak? And like for me, they say, because these two have the most fat on them and nobody was going to buy them. No, they will tell you, well, you've got this crown and you got this, and this is going to be a better piece of meat. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Cody Bell says Junior is not correct. He attended college on regular financial aid as a U.S. citizen.
He went to Occidental in California, and then he went to Columbia. He might have been out of state when he went to Columbia. And out-of-state students at a lot of colleges pay the same tuition, whether you're out of state from the U.S. or a foreign country, because out of state is out of state.
There you have it.
So,
no, I've given up on the idea that Obama wasn't a citizen.
Well, and you can't put that two-space back in the tube.
That's exactly right. It's very hard to do.
But anyway, it takes a lot of time. To squeeze the air out of it. Sucks some, man. Squeeze the air. Sucks some, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about this. The First State Bank of Louise Sports Update Minute. We just keep broadening. It could be.
Well, because the Astros offseason started so early this year, and they really haven't done much in the offseason. So, and the Cowboys sucked. So they're done. Texans season ended a week ago.
Did I technically win? You had the Cowboys going 10-7, I think, and I had them going 9-8, and they ended up going 7-9-1. Even they disappointed by our scale. And you know what people say? It's so odd because Cowboys fans are absolutely the worst fans, even though I'm in their midst. Cowboys fans will say, well, if we just had a little bit better defense. Well, you know, right? If you get beat in 2 of the 3 phases of the game, you're going to lose, which brings us to Indiana University last night. Did you know, people?
Go Hoosiers.
That in what is it,
FBS
or FCS? Which are they in?
They're in FBS.
So in FBS football, the Indiana Hoosiers have the second most losses in the history of college football. Brian Small says he knows the guy, and last night's score was perfect for him. Be Small, give us some feedback. What was the spread and how did it parlay for thee? Good morning, Brent Anderson. You got to like Indiana, even in an era when college football, college sports in general, are becoming semi-pro. And even though I have no idea what a guy like Fernando Mendoza got paid.
7.5 to 8.5 was the spread.
So, okay, worked out good. -7.5 says Be Small, always fair. That means Indiana was favored by 7.5. They won by 10. Is that right? They won by 3.
It was 27-24.
27-24. All right. So a lot of people took Miami. Be Small is happy. Or a lot of people took Indiana. Be Small is happy. Either way, the man who controls the money is always happy. The Indiana Hoosiers are a refreshing and fun story. The Signetti guy, their coach.
27-21, my mistake.
There you go. Has Nick Saban lineage. So does Mario Cristobal.
Turned around James Madison before going to Indiana. Took a bunch of his players with them.
But look at all the periphery to the story. Fernando Mendoza grew up in Miami, tried to walk on at Miami, and was denied, not allowed to walk onto the team. Had to be special to him to come home to his hometown where Indiana had a 60 to 40% advantage in the stadium. Think about that. You're playing in Miami, and Miami doesn't dominate the crowd. 60-40 Indiana. In large part because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, once-in-history opportunity to see IU
in a national championship game
that doesn't involve basketball. And Fernando Mendoza is vindicated, I guess, if you will. His mother, the emotional story is there. His mother has multiple sclerosis, can't get around, can't stand any longer. She's a beautiful lady. And every time they score, she's just beside herself. I get the feeling that she may not be with us a whole lot longer.
Didn't exactly tear it up. 16 of 27, 186, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So he did what he had to do.
But he had that iconic 4th and 5 quarterback draw where he just clawed and fought and eventually dove over and just got rocked. After the game, it was Molly McGuire said, show him your arm. And he goes, we just play it hard. His arm was purple and blue and already swollen from getting hit with helmets. But
well, you are playing football. It happens.
Absolutely. But he just found a way to win.
Yeah.
And Indiana, hats off. Absolutely, 100% hats off. The coach is a great guy, it seems like. Indiana, a storied AAU, tremendous university, a great university. And I think now, Ash, you have to make the argument that, by the way, hats off also to University of Miami. Mario Cristobal resurrected a program that hasn't won a championship in 25 years and got them right on the cusp. Carson Beck, Malachi, Tony, and the Fletcher kid, the running back, are all Sunday players. Not to mention the defensive end, number 4. Both defensive ends for Miami are probably first-round draft picks. The guy, number 4, I think his name is Bain.
Bain Jr., yep.
What a beast of a man, 270 pounds, dragging people down. Miami has got some hosses that will play on Sundays. Great ball game, great atmosphere. Indiana also, an interesting sports coincidence, Indiana is also the last men's basketball team to go undefeated and win a championship. Brian Small says Carson Beck will run it back for his 12th year of eligibility. Yeah, it's very interesting, Ash. Did you know Carson Beck took some graduate classes, But he didn't enroll for any classes in the spring because he knew this was his last year of eligibility, and he's not even going to school right now. I think, what did he make, $8 million to go over
He had
there?
to go to school in the fall to play, but
He had to go to school in the fall, but he's already got an undergraduate degree.
I don't think he has to go to school in the spring right now because he's finishing up his fall
eligibility.
season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't know NCAA eligibility well enough to weigh in on that one. But
Tom Brady and Mark Davis on the sidelines to look at their number one draft choice, which would be, I assume, Fernando Mendoza. Is Brady a part owner in what? The Raiders? Is that what he owns part of?
So.
What do you make of, do the New England Patriots just skate into the Super Bowl now? Will they beat Denver handily with Stidham?
I think without Bo Nix, yeah.
With Wagya Chow as the backup quarterback?
Worse than that, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I know you were going to make a point about the SEC and the Big Ten.
Oh, I will make that point.
Okay.
It is, to me, quite arguable that the Big Ten is the premier football conference in the country.
I don't even know it's arguable anymore. 3 straight national championships.
3 different teams, Ohio State, Michigan, and now Indiana.
Undefeated Indiana, 15-0.
You know, now you could say that they're undefeated because 8 of those wins or 9 came at the hands of beating the hapless
16-0
Big Ten. But, man, Michigan, not so much. Michigan had this whoop, and they're back to being Michigan.
They beat Ohio State. They knocked off Alabama. They beat Oregon. Then they beat Miami. They beat Oregon twice this year.
Indiana beat Miami twice too.
No, they beat Oregon twice. They beat Miami last night.
Last night, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I mean, Oregon was number 3 when they beat them the first time. Number 5 when they beat them the second time. Beat the number 1 Ohio State team. Beat number 9 Alabama. Beat number 10 Miami. Beat number 9 Illinois back in September.
Illinois finishes number 68.
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham from Stephenville, Texas. They pronounce it Stiphenville. Quick stint at God's University in Waco. Be small a Baylor grad. Yeah. I thought maybe he went to TSTC.
I was thinking
7-man. Is he playing flag at TSTC?
He was on the club team from the electrical engineering program.
Did some auto mechanics, working on diesel turbos, and also played a little 7-man football. Oh. Yep. I have no idea what Andrew Alvarez is talking about.
He's mixing his
Says the 49ers
mixing his sports
Bulls
metaphors.
Grand Slam in the last period. BJ Nelson says, bite your tongue. BJ Nelson, a longtime Baylor graduate and fan, back there with H.H. Reynolds back in the day.
Grant Taft was
when Herbert was the guy. Grant Taft was there. You got to believe. Yeah. What a deal. Remember the tarp of shame? Baylor used to have this section in their end zone. They just had a big tarp over it. It said, BU on it because they couldn't fill
the stadium.
Floyd Casey Stadium.
Unbelievable.
Paravita Wellness asking you, please, for your health.
I thought she was showing up today.
Get in and get healthy. Oh, I told you the other day it was 50-50.
Yeah. It is birthday week, so yeah.
Oh, that's right. 45 doesn't come along that often.
Nope.
Paravita Wellness inviting you to get in and just go over there and take your blood work, show her your macros. You can do it. It's January.
You can do it.
He says we're jerks. Oh, my goodness.
I remember once in a while in high school watching a Baylor game on CBS when it was the national. For whatever reason, Baylor lucked out and got on national TV, probably playing Texas.
They probably had Mike Singletary.
And it was like watching Oregon. They were greening. They were Kelly green and gold. Nobody was at the games. They usually got their butt kicked. They were playing on the hard old AstroTurf.
But they always had some great guys. I think was it Terry Teagle? Wasn't he a forward in basketball? Played for the Rockets.
So did North Texas. Too Tall Jones.
There you go. Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. If you'll get by there and tell Bobby Leon, what you want.
They've been around for 106 years, folks.
You'll find out why you just always do better at Chestnut.
Chestnut and Love, make your house a home. Great sales going on right now. I was perusing, because I'm still, I need a new mattress and didn't quite get that far. I was looking at the sofas. They've got some nice sofas for half the price right now.
What you do is you take your significant other and you just ask them, can you give me a couple of minutes? I mean, come back, go check out the Tempur-Pedic pillow and give me 5.
Quick cat nap, and
You'll
you'll be walking away with a new mattress and pillow.
There you go.
White Trash Services. Choose White Trash for fire department cash, because when you sign up, they'll give your volunteer fire department $25.50 or $100
based on 1, 2, or 3 year.
Well, based on
agreement.
the first one's not. You can just go month to month. They'll give them $25. You don't even have to lock in for a year.
And you can lock in, but it's not a contract. It's just a service agreement. If you don't want white trash, that's okay. But at the end of the day, once you experience them, they're not trying to bind you to something where they're going to come sue you. They're just saying, hey, look, if you'll make a commitment to us, we'll make a commitment to local volunteer fire departments. It's a great deal. And they'll guarantee if it's, I'm picking it up, if it's $10 a week, they'll do it for the year. If it's $10 a week, they'll do it for 2 years if you give them the 2-year agreement. And they'll also guarantee the first 2 years of your 3-year agreement, which doesn't mean you're going to get a rate increase in year 3. It just means you don't know what's going to happen. They're willing to suck it up for you the first 2 years, but after that, you may have to look at it. So there you go. You've got our background the way you want it. Doesn't matter,
Sure.
does it?
Got the world famous Atzenhofer studio.
It is
down
the
here.
world famous. You'd have to kind of turn sideways there, Zipper. Yeah, from the world famous Atzenhofer studio.
Yep.
Right
We're
here.
here.
Commander Cody did a really nice rendering of our international headquarters, but we haven't seen that lately. Have we broke ground on that?
Not yet.
Not yet, but we shall.
One day.
Let's wait till the next storm, then we'll rebuild.
Johnny Houghton says, more exciting than the football game. There was a goalie fight in the Panthers-Sharks game last night. I saw the video of this.
A goalie fight.
Yeah, the lines were brawling, and all of a sudden, Sergei Bobrovsky from the Florida Panthers
Sounds like a bad guy.
just starts skating down the ice.
Like, I'm going to get me some of that guy down there.
San Jose's goalie was kind of pulling guys out of the fracas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
It's going to be over your head in a second.
I thought
Feed you lunch.
you get all excited. That's why we don't watch hockey together. I'm always afraid you're just going to go like just like smack me for no reason.
And the goalies went at it. It was probably a better tilt than any of the players on the ice last night. It was pretty
Nice.
good, yeah. So I don't know if Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong. At one point, if the goalie left his crease to get into a fight, he used to get kicked out of the game and suspended. Any of those rules still in effect
The
in the
ratings are
NHL?
so low right now for hockey. They're like, go on down there. What the hell? Hit him.
Except they're not.
You know, I know the ratings are good.
They're
I
actually
did,
pretty good.
which means that no doubt there will be a lockout soon by the owners to mess up professional hockey.
Actually, that's probably the only sport where they're actually happy with each other right now, because players get a percentage of the revenue and they're happy that the revenue is going up.
Why do you think that people are talking about, besides the obvious, they're contractually at odds? Why do you think people are talking about the inevitability of a baseball lockout?
Because player owners are throwing $60 million at a guy like Kyle Tucker,
266
and the owners will
batting
say
average.
it's Kyle Tucker's fault that he accepted our $60 million offer.
Yeah.
They're like socialists. They want to blame the government for the problem, or they're like the government. I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but try to follow my logic here. They want to blame somebody else for the problems that they've created, the owners.
Somebody told me that Tucker's contract on an annual basis is more payroll than the St. Louis Cardinals' entire roster.
I think
find
that's
it
just
hard to believe.
just right now, because the Cardinals have basically fire sailed everybody. But I wouldn't be surprised if certainly their payroll will be more than the Florida Marlins, or because the Marlins are notorious for not paying anybody.
Brian Small says, Sports Talk Radio right here, killing Junior Samples. Junior and our own Andrew Alvarez, who up above made a mockery of his sports knowledge. Those guys are starting the Mandate podcast and on-air randomness.
February
program.
7th, talking about all things men like except sports.
I guess they're going to talk about accessorizing your wardrobe and
Hunting,
laces,
fishing,
yeah, Velcro shoes,
bourbon.
Yeah.
Those have been replaced by Skechers slip-ons.
right?
I mean, if they're good enough for Shaq, they're good enough for you and me.
There you go. Joaquin Ramon says, "Good morning, Coach and Wade. Baseball season here. Amen."
Absolutely.
By the way, West High School currently practicing.
BJ Nelson says, every year the Bears would say this is the year.
Yeah, the Baylor Bears, no doubt. Hey, I'll tell you that I was surprised. Drew, what's his name? Basketball coach at Baylor. Yeah, Drew.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach Drew. His last name's Drew. I
Yeah.
think.
Was he at Purdue for a while there or one of those
Yeah,
schools?
he's been
Yeah.
at Baylor for
Yeah.
years and years, and I guess he won a championship at Baylor, didn't he? Didn't they win a championship?
Yeah, I think
I know the women did a while back with that dude Griner.
I don't know. That was after all the basketball team was murdering
Stop
people on
that.
campus, right?
The Brittany Griner, of course, just a really nice, wholesome young lady. Certainly Southern Baptist. Absolutely represents Baylor.
Scott Drew,
undervalued.
thank you, B. Small.
Scott Drew, good coach.
Indiana guy, Purdue guy,
I
something
think
like that, right?
yeah, I think Indiana, at any rate, was really on kind of a meteoric rise, and it seems like that has kind of ebbed. You know, I don't know. I think he's a good guy, and I think they have a good program now. They did go through some. I think what happens is when you have a university like Baylor, Notre Dame, like if there was a rape scandal at Notre Dame, it hits harder because like, well, that's a Catholic school. How could that happen? Yet when you have rape in the Catholic Church, well, that's just an isolated event.
Interesting story out of China, where China's saying that their birth rate fell to the lowest in recorded history, which is only since Mao Zedong finally wrestled control of that country
He
from
rewrote all the history.
Chiang Kai-shek in 1941. But it was interesting that a former Chinese resident dissident who is now living in the West, over the weekend, maybe it was yesterday, I saw the podcast. Anyway, she's saying that you might want to check China's claims that they have 1.4 billion people, because if you go back to the point in time in the early 50s, late 40s,
Right.
when they claimed to have about half a billion people.
You thinking they don't really have that many
That's
people?
what her claim is. She goes, how could you double your population when you were limiting families to one child per family?
They can't feed the 500 million they've got, huh?
Yeah. Well, and you starved and killed about 30 to 50 million under Mao Zedong after he took power. So right there, now you're at 450, right? She's just saying that their population numbers maybe not quite where they say they are.
Jennifer Rayburn says Skechers also offers a Find My Skechers built-in feature. If you ever have elderly or children wanderers getting lost or concerns about that, similar pricing to non-tracking Skechers. I was just thinking though,
they have the Apple tag built in.
well,
basically.
the old lady could have help, I've fallen and I can't get up, and your Skechers. Can't find my Skechers. I was looking for my Skechers and I fell. At that point, just will you take me out and just hit a 5-iron right behind my ear?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? Is going back to sports a little bit. Sean McDermott fired
Stupid.
by the Buffalo Bills.
They're stupid.
He's won more games than I think the only coach to ever win more was Mark Levy, right?
And it's Buffalo. It's like
Well-
the Jets winning.
And they've won like twice as many games they've lost in his 9 seasons as head coach.
They're dumb. I'd put them in Dallas right now.
And they're only concerned. Well, he just couldn't ever get us over the hump into a Super Bowl. You know how many teams win a Super Bowl every year?
You know how many
One.
times
You know
Jim
how-
Kelly went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
4 in a row and never got over the hump. They didn't fire Marv Levy.
No. You know how many teams actually get to the playoffs every year in the NFL? Not even half the teams. Your coach got you to the playoffs. You don't have a chance to get to the Super Bowl if you don't get to the playoffs. Just ask the Dallas Cowboys.
Amen. 100%.
And the same thing in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin out. Been there 19 years. Great coach. Gets them
On
there or
paper,
close.
he resigned, though, right? But I mean,
Yeah, but still.
you know that conversation started with, Mike, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to resign or am I going to fire you? I like Tomlin. I have to agree that He's just kind of just another coach. He was a 200 win, 195 wins, 102 losses kind of guy. But which is good, don't get me wrong, but he won one Super Bowl, and for most that's a career. It's not a bad career.
If you're Eli Manning, it got you considered for the Hall of Fame. You win
True
another
story.
one and you get put in.
You're in. Did you see that train crash in Spain?
Yeah.
So this passenger train is going, and one of the cars at the back jumps off the track and hits another train coming this way, and with passengers on it. 40 people were killed, 159 injured when these two trains collided. They didn't collide because they were on the same track.
No.
They were running side by side.
I've got to say, for a car, you got to wonder if there wasn't some sabotage on the track, something.
Maybe.
It just seems weird that all those other cars managed to go through that same section of track without going, right?
In other news, Marina Oswald was seen in the region with a walker. Wonder whatever happened to Marina.
I have no idea what happened to her.
She moved to Vancouver and started practicing law.
U.S., Russia, and China now ranking as the top three most powerful militaries
Now that's
in
news.
the world.
That's
there,
news. Where's Denmark?
Breaking news. Come on, really? This is you needed a ranking to figure this one out. I'm not so sure about Russia, but who else you got in the
Well,
world?
Russia gets like, you have that box, do you have nukes? Check.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A new ranking places the U.S., Russia, and China as the top three most powerful militaries based on over 60 factors, including personnel, equipment, and logistics.
I wonder if they factored in the fact that China and Russia man-made defense systems didn't do diddly squat in Venezuela.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if this is what source is this?
Find out right here.
If this is their admission
Visual capitalist.
that it's a slow news Tuesday. I'm just being honest.
USA, Russia, China, 1, 2, and 3. Then India.
Venezuela ranked number 50.
Wow, that because they just got embarrassed.
I want you to think about this.
Canada's is ranked way down the list. I don't even know where because, let me follow this. 28th.
Well, but Canada really is like number 3 because they're right there with the United States. Are we number 1?
Yes. Canada's behind such
Thailand,
global military
Sweden?
powers as Thailand, Taiwan, Algeria.
They're behind Ukraine,
Egypt. Wow, that makes some, yeah.
Italy.
Turkey, France, South Korea.
France is 8. They must have some nukes we gave them. UK is only 6 behind South Korea.
That's 'cause they're still basking in the glow of the Falkland Islands War.
Right? There's India at number 4.
Marty Conrad says 28. Yes, 28.
28 for the Canucks.
Jonathan William wants to know if these rankings lead to a playoff.
Who was somebody's what good writing? What would it be? Who's excited about Landman season finale? Yeah, you know what? I really, really like the Landman show. It requires an absolute relaxation of your brain because it's not really, it's just not factually accurate. But when Taylor Sheridan develops characters, he does a great job, or his writers do a great job. In every episode, like you have Casey and Beth Dutton and the John Dutton and Rip. They're all really strong characters. You can tell me, all of you who watched Yellowstone can tell me about those people. When you watch Landman, you understand Dale and TL and Tommy, and they all have their own very well developed character personalities that's difficult to do in a 1-hour show. Yet you know how Demi Moore is going, Cammie, you know how she's going to respond to a situation. I just think that Taylor Sheridan has got it going on right now. Very odd or very rare. It's very rare that a guy can put his name on something and you're like, I'm going to watch it because that guy's pretty good. Whatever. Mayor of Kingstown is a tremendous series. Tremendous series. And that's one of Sheridan's first. And I really, really enjoy it. What are you playing for us, boss?
Wow. It's that time of day. It's top of the hour, folks.
I don't hear it. You do? As long as you do, that's all that matters, you and them. Can y'all hear that?
Oh, yeah.
This segment brought to you by Belltone, hearing aids for the common man. Oh, a little kiss.
A little kiss to finish the day.
Folks, we love you guys. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Special thanks again to Atzenhofer for a South Texas tradition for over 100 years. There you go. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Atzenhofer studio. Bye, folks. They said, no, they can't hear.